Okay, so for every A320 pilot listening, I want you to just picture this scenario.
Very familiar one.
Yeah, you've run it a dozen times in the sim. You're in the left seat. You're on final approach. Everything's stable. You call for gear down.
You hear the clunks, the doors opening, that familiar sound.
But then the chime, master caution lights up. You glance down at the ECAM, and there it is. HYD GSYSLO.
Green hydraulic system, low pressure. It's a standard abnormal. I mean, your heart rate might tick up a little, but you know the procedure.
Exactly. You handle it. But today, we're not talking about a textbook sim session. We're talking about what happens when that standard failure lures a crew into a trap.
A psychological trap.
One that ends with a perfectly good Airbus A320 sitting in the middle of a wheat field in Siberia.
And that's the key thing to understand here. The mechanical failure didn't put that plane in the field. The decisions made after the failure. That's what did it.
So today we are dissecting Ural Airlines Flight SVR1383. This was September 12th, 2023, an A320 flying from Sochi to Omsk.
And if you fly the bus, or really any modern airliner, this is one you really need to pay attention to.
Why is that?
Because the mistake that really mattered here, it wasn't a stick and rudder issue, it was a fundamental misunderstanding of the FMS, the flight management system.
A case of trusting the automation a little too much.
Way too much.
Okay, let's set the scene.
Oh.
The flight takes off from Sochi. They've got about 14,200 kilos of fuel. The investigation actually notes that's a bit more than they planned for.
So they had a buffer, everything's fine, cruise is uneventful, they start their descent and approach into Omsk.
And then they select gear down.
And almost immediately, the green hydraulic system pressure just drops to zero. It's gone.
The investigation was really specific on the cause, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. They pinpointed it to a single flexible hose in the right main landing gear door actuator.
It's just one hose.
Yep. It had a manufacturing defect. The inner wall was too thin in one spot, and it burst under pressure. Once that happens, all the green fluid pumps overboard in seconds.
So for the pilots, in practical terms, the green system is now completely dead.
It's gone, and that's your workhorse system. It runs the landing gear retraction, the normal brakes, the nose wheel steering, and the #1 engine thrust reverser.
So here's the first domino.
Yeah.
They're on approach, gear is down, and they get the ECAM. Standard procedure is just land.
Land. You have the yellow system for alternate braking. It's not ideal. Your landing roll will be longer, but it's a perfectly landable situation.
But they didn't land.
No. They initiated a go-around. They decided to divert to their alternate, which was Novosibirsk.
That's the first major decision I want to unpack. Why give up a perfectly good runway right in front of you?
Well, you have to get inside their heads. They were worried about braking. You know, without the green system, you're on alternate brakes. Omsk might have had some weather. Maybe the runway wasn't perfectly dry.
So they fear a runway excursion.
Probably.
Right.
And they thought, okay, Novosibirsk has a longer runway, better conditions. It's the safer bet.
Which, on the surface, sounds like solid airmanship. I'm compromised, so I'll go to the place with more margin.
In a vacuum, yes.
Yeah.
But they missed one gigantic critical detail.
Configuration.
The configuration. The gear is down. And since the green system, which powers retraction, is empty, the gear cannot be retracted. It's stuck.
They're committed to flying all the way to their alternate with the wheels hanging out in the breeze.
And that brings us to the physics of the thing. Flying an A320 with the gear down is not a small drag penalty.
No, it's a parachute.
It's a massive, massive drag penalty. Your fuel flow basically doubles. The report says it's about a 180% increase.
So you're burning almost twice the fuel to go the same distance, and you have to fly lower and slower, which just kills your range even more.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get to the math. This is the heart of the fuel trap. How much fuel did the investigation say they needed to make it to Novosibirsk in that gear-down state?
The minimum required fuel to get there safely was 10,020 kilograms.
10 tons.
10 tons.
And remind us, what did they have in the tanks when they pointed the nose toward Novosibirsk?
They had about 4,440 kilograms.
That is, I mean, that's just shocking. It's less than half of what they needed. It's not like they were short a little bit of reserve fuel.
It was a physical impossibility from the moment they made the turn.
So how does a professional crew make an error that large? How do you miss by 5.5 tons of fuel?
They didn't calculate it. That's the thing. They relied on the FMS.
The green line.
It's a green line. The flight management system is brilliant, but it's a computer. It follows its programming. And its program calculates fuel burn based on a clean aircraft model.
It assumes that after you go around, you're going to clean up, flaps up, gear up, and fly like a sleek jet.
Exactly. It has no way of knowing, oh, the green system is dead, therefore the gear is stuck, therefore I need to double the fuel prediction. You have to tell it, or you have to ignore it.
So the pilots are looking at their navigation display. They see the route to Novosibirsk, and the computer's telling them, estimated fuel on board at destination, 1,000 kilograms.
And for a clean airplane, that prediction was probably correct.
But they weren't flying a clean airplane.
They were flying a dirty one, and this is classic automation bias. The screen looked good. The numbers on the screen were reassuring, so they believed the screen instead of the reality of their situation.
What would have happened if they had just opened the QRH, the Quick Reference Handbook?
It would have been over in 30 seconds. They would have opened to the diversion with gear down table, run their finger across the chart, and seen instantly they were short by tons.
Or even just mental math, right?
A simple rule of thumb. Every pilot knows gear down kills your range. If they just thought, okay, let's just double our fuel burn for this leg, they would have known Novosibirsk was off the table before they even touched the heading knob.
So they're flying along, gear down, burning fuel at this incredible rate. When does the penny drop? When do they realize the computer has been lying to them?
The report says the realization hit at about 01.42 UTC. They're well on their way, but the fuel gauges are telling the true story. The fuel is just plummeting.
That must be an absolutely terrifying moment. You're watching the fuel quantity unwind twice as fast as it should be.
And you're watching that green line, the energy circle on the map, start to shrink. It's pulling back, and your destination is suddenly outside of it.
They did a check and realized they had, what was it, about 1,300 kilos left?
1.3 tons. On an A320, you're on fumes. You can't divert. You can barely even hold. You are out of options.
They were in no man's land. Too far to go forward, not enough fuel to turn back.
They were committed to landing somewhere that was not an airport.
Let's talk about the cockpit environment then. CRM, crew resource management, is designed to prevent exactly this. Why didn't someone speak up?
Well, the investigation noted procedural deviations. The pre-landing briefing was incomplete. Communication with the cabin was non-standard. The cockpit was clearly a high-stress, disorganized environment.
And there was one action that really shows the level of cognitive breakdown, right?
There was. While they were watching the fuel just vanish, the captain, he reached up and selected the gear lever up. He tried to retract the landing gear.
But why? He knew the green system was at 0. He had the E-cam right in front of his face.
Intellectually, yes, he knew. But under that kind of extreme stress, your brain doesn't analyze, it just reacts. The problem is drag. The solution for drag is gear up.
So he tried it.
It's a sort of denial. If I can just fix this one thing, the math will work again.
Precisely. And it's a distraction. While he's doing that, he's not focused on the real problem, which is, where am I going to put this airplane down in the next 10 minutes?
Eventually, though, they did accept the situation.
They did. And credit where it's due, once they accepted an airport was impossible, they shifted gears. They started looking for a place to land. They found a large field near a village called Ubinskoye and set up for an off-airport landing.
And this is landing with compromised systems, not just the gear.
Right. They've lost the left engine thrust reverser because that's on the green system, and, more importantly, no normal braking.
So they're relying on the accumulator. Correct. Which is a bottle of pressurized fluid that gives you a handful of brake applications, maybe 7 if you're lucky, and then it's empty. And you have no anti-skid.
They touched down at 02.47 UTC. The photos are incredible. The plane is just sitting there.
It handled it remarkably well. The soft soil of the field probably acted like a giant brake, which helped a lot. The fuselage stayed intact.
And the people on board.
All 161 people, including 23 kids, evacuated safely. No injuries. An amazing outcome.
It is. It's the miracle in the wheat field. But for us, for the pilots listening, we can't stop there. We have to look at the chain of events that led to them needing a miracle in the first place.
A good landing doesn't forgive a bad decision-making process. This wasn't a double bird strike like the Hudson. This was a self-inflicted fuel emergency that started with a standard hydraulic failure.
Okay, so let's distill the lessons. What's the first major takeaway for an A320 pilot?
Pillar 1 is fuel monitoring in abnormal configurations. You simply cannot trust the FMS when the airplane is not aerodynamically clean.
If the plane is dirty, the FMS prediction is wrong.
It's not just wrong, it's dangerously optimistic. The moment you have gears stuck down or slats stuck out, you have to assume the computer is lying to you. You have to go to the paper, go to the QRH.
Or at the very least, Apply a massive mental correction factor.
Double it. Just double the fuel burn in your head.
Mm.
If they had done that, this whole conversation would be different.
Okay, what's pillar 2?
CRM and the calm cockpit. When that master caution goes off, the instinct is to rush. Fix it, go, divert. The correct action is to slow down.
Take a breath.
Sit on your hands for 10 seconds. If they had just orbited once over Omsk and really talked about the risks, someone would have asked the question, what's our fuel burn with the gear down?
Yeah.
That question never got asked because they were in a rush.
So the lesson is that time is usually on your side, but only if you use it to think.
Right. They created their own time pressure by burning fuel they didn't have.
And the third lesson?
This one's a bit more subtle. It's system knowledge versus performance knowledge.
What do you mean by that?
The crew knew the system had failed. They understood green hydraulics are at 0. They ran the checklist.
But they didn't connect that system failure to the performance reality.
Exactly. Knowing the gear is down is a system fact. Knowing the gear being down cuts my range in half is a performance fact. They stopped at the system level. You have to fly the airplane you have, not the one you wish you had.
They flew a flight plan for a clean jet because they desperately wanted to be in a clean jet.
And physics always wins that argument.
It's a powerful reminder that automation is there to handle the routine. The pilot is there for the non-routine.
The automation can tell you what broke. It can't tell you what to do about it, that judgment call. That's why we're still in the cockpit.
I think that's a perfect place to leave it. A safe outcome, but just a terrifying process that didn't need to happen.
It's a wake-up call. We all rely on that green line.
We do.
But you have to ask yourself, what assumptions is the computer making to draw that line? If you don't know the answer, you can't trust the line.
Verify, then trust. And in a situation like this, maybe just don't trust. Calculate.
That's how you stay out of the wheat fields.
To the crew and passengers of SVR 1383, we're glad you're all safe. To everyone else listening, keep that QRH handy.
And always watch your fuel flow.
Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. Stay safe.
Fly safe.